Hello, many thanks for joining today's edition of Aso Briefing. I am Richard Alechinwanye. There are top stories. President Tinubu pledges stronger Nigeria-Colombia ties. FCT Minister Barrister Aso Briefing urges Goodluck Jonathan not to succumb to pressure to contest the 2027 presidential election. And on business, Budget Office of the Federation pledges timely publication, addresses delay in budget implementation reports. You are watching Aso Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UHF band, you can find us on channel 38. Now we'll go with details of all our stories. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitments to strengthening international partnerships and aligning its foreign relations with evolving global trends in trade, politics, and culture. The president gave the assurance while receiving Colombia's Vice President, Francia Marquez, at the State House in Abuja. The visiting delegation included senior government, business, and diplomatic officials. President Tinubu said global economic volatility and shifting international policies made it necessary for Nigeria to build new partnerships for shared prosperity. He stated that agreements recently signed with Brazil on aviation and consular matters would be replicated with Colombia to further boost bilateral relations. He urged Colombian business leaders to explore opportunities in Nigeria's oil and gas sector as well as agriculture, pointing out that the country's youthful and growing population offers a large market and skilled workforce. The president also expressed confidence that the outcome of the meeting with the Colombian delegation had already strengthened business and diplomatic cooperation between both nations. Now, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Aso Briefing, has urged former President Goodluck Jonathan not to succumb to pressure to contest the 2027 presidential election. Barrister Wike, who spoke during a monthly media chat, said those pushing Jonathan into the race are the same people who betrayed him during the 2015 general elections. Our correspondent, Usman Katun Umar, has more.
Speculations have been rife in recent weeks that former President Goodluck Jonathan may return to the People's Democratic Party to seek the party's presidential ticket in 2027. But in a media chat in Abuja, FCT Minister Barrister Aso Briefing dismissed the idea, insisting Jonathan should continue to play his role as an elder statesman.
I respect Jonathan very well. I know he does the role as an elder statesman and somebody the international community respects, and I think he will continue with that. These people who are weighing Jonathan, what is their strength? Are they not the same people who played him game in 2015? Some of these people, I see what I don't like is people who are trying to play to the gallery.
Barrister Wike told journalists that the former president commands global respect in his current role and should not allow politicians whom he accused of working against him in 2015 to drag him back into partisan contests. The minister also warned the PDP against decisions that could worsen its internal crisis. He criticized suggestions that former Anambra Governor Peter Obi be readmitted into the party, noting that Obi once described the PDP as rotten.
To what? Bringing Obi to where? Obi to where? You want to kill the party the more? Obi that, I mean, you see, if somebody don't have character, Obi that was abusing the party, that the party is rotten is this, so the party is good enough for you to come and run for, you see these people, ambition can make you even go to Satan's house.
Barrister Wike stressed that while individuals are entitled to their opinions, the PDP must avoid choices that could deepen division ahead of the next elections. He further dismissed speculations about his own presidential ambition, making it clear that he would not run against President Bola Tinubu, who appointed him to office. Usman Katun Umar, Aso Television News.
Now, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has flagged off the construction of a multi-purpose sports complex in Abuja aimed at boosting youth development and promoting sports excellence in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The event brought together key government officials, contractors, and development partners. Again, Our correspondent, Usman Katun Umar, tells us more.
The groundbreaking ceremony for the new multi-event sports complex in Abuja marks what officials describe as a milestone in sports development and youth empowerment in the nation's capital. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Ezenwonye Somwiki, said the project aligns with President Tinubu's 8th-point agenda of creating opportunities for young people. He stressed that world-class sporting facilities are essential to nurture talent and generate economic opportunities.
The President, as one of the President's 8-point agenda, is to empower the youth, is to make sure that the youth are active, generate employment, generate revenue making for themselves. If you look at the concept, it's very holistic. That's why we call it multi-sports events. It has everything you can talk about, any kind of sports. And so we encourage our youth to take advantage of this. Although government will not run it, we will go to partnership with private individuals to see how we can run and maintain it. Because you know, the moment it goes into the hands of government, obviously give it 2 weeks, you will see that it will be deteriorating, and we don't want that.
Also speaking, the Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, described the project as a legacy initiative that would benefit future generations.
We are shaping a legacy that would outlast all of us. And we pray, if this project is being completed, it will shine as a symbol of opportunity, unity, and excellence for our unborn generation to come. For all our distinguished guests, the media people, our well-wishers, we appreciate you all for all you've been doing to us, for the belief you have in us, for the support, patience, and words of encouragement.
On their part, the contractors, Tagwe Limited, assured that the sports center would meet international standards and serve as a hub for both recreation and competition. The complex is expected to host a wide range of sporting activities including football, basketball, volleyball, lawn tennis, squash, and athletics. Officials say the project is scheduled for completion by June next year, ahead of President Tinubu's 3rd anniversary in office. With this flag off, Abuja looks set to join the League of Cities with world-class sporting infrastructure, opening fresh opportunities for talent discovery and youth empowerment. Usman Katun Umar, Aso Television News.
The federal government says it has welcomed the landmark judgment of a district court in Finland, which on Monday sentenced Simon Ekpa, a self-styled pro-Biafra agitator, to 6 years imprisonment for terrorism offenses. A statement signed by the Minister of Information, Culture and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, and sent to newsmen, said the ruling stands as a watershed moment. He also said that the judgment was for the countless innocent Nigerians whose lives and livelihoods have been brutally disrupted by the reign of terror incited and financed by Ekpa and his collaborators. The minister disclosed that the judgment by the Finnish judiciary has not only vindicated Nigeria's consistent position on this matter, but also sent a clear signal to extremists everywhere that the world is watching and justice will catch up with those who seek to destabilize societies through terror. He also advised those who, under the misguidance of Simon Ekpa and others, have taken up arms against their fatherland to immediately lay down their arms and embrace the path of peace. Similarly, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has welcomed the conviction of pro-Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa by a Finnish court, describing it as a major step in the global fight against terrorism. The court found him guilty of participating in acts aimed at re-establishing an independent state in Nigeria's Biafra region, which was briefly independent in the late 1960s. General Musa said the judgment was a landmark victory that demonstrated the commitment of the international community to holding sponsors of terrorism accountable, regardless of their location. He stressed that no individual or group undermining Nigeria's peace and security would find refuge anywhere in the world. The defense headquarters, through its spokesman, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, also noted that the ruling affirmed global cooperation in combating terrorism and violent extremism. The federal government has sought sustainable solutions to Nigeria's health financing challenges to achieve universal health coverage, as the current health spending in Nigeria is inadequate. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, in his keynote address at the National Dialogue on Health Financing in Abuja on Monday, noted that Nigeria's health transformation depends on synergy among civil society, development partners, private investors, and sub-national governments in collaboration with the federal government.
By the federal government, by states, and by better organizing the other sources of financing, and that we protect the most poor and the vulnerable in our population. If we can solve that or answer those questions, I believe we will begin to have a healthier health market that will see this country through this development phase as it grows and becomes a more prosperous country.
This policy dialogue will leapfrog a nationally supported reform agenda, focusing on increased domestic health financing, exploring innovative mechanisms, and optimizing resources and ensuring transparency. Let us bring forth innovative ideas, share best practices, and form partnerships that will translate our collective aspiration into tangible realities.
This government has made equity a cornerstone of what it is doing. And that's why we started the program on emergency obstetric care for women. And so far, over 10,000 women have benefited from that in less than 1 year of program implementation. And secondly, with the obstetric fistula, these are women, they do not die, but they develop bad complications in childbirth. And about 3,000 women so far have been treated across the 20 centers nationwide.
While speaking further, Professor Pate said for decades, Nigeria's health sector has been underfunded as families bear nearly 70% of healthcare costs out of their pockets. Professor Pate outlined the 4 pillars of Nigeria's health strategy, which includes governance, expanding and improving population health outcomes, unlocking the value chain, and enhancing the resilience of the health system. He noted that a compact between the government, private sector, civil society, and development partners is necessary to guide how they interface with each other. The minister expressing his commitment to finding solutions to Nigeria's health financing challenges and thanked partners for their support. The national dialogue with the theme, Reimagining the Future of Health Financing in Nigeria, aims at building sustainable healthcare solutions and ensuring universal health coverage for all Nigerians. Now, coming up on Aso Briefing, we have business and more. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
We were warned about this marriage. Because we did not listen, the young maiden is dead.
Nana, come here. Hi. Why do you speak so freely with a stranger from Ajan?
We were just talking about offering Ojigijag a seat on the council.
God be praised. He has 2 wives. So why are you making it look like it is a big deal?
You are watching Aso Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV we are on channel 507. On the UHF band, you can look us up on channel 38. Now we'll go ahead with details of all the stories. The Minister of Transportation, Saeed Ahmed Al-Khali, has lauded security agencies and stakeholders for their diligent efforts in ensuring safety and restoring infrastructure after the Abuja-Kaduna train derailment on August 26th. Following an on-site inspection, Al-Khali confirmed that work is progressing well and expects the damaged railway tracks to be fully restored within 10 days. He acknowledged the support from President Bola Tinubu and commended the National Railway Corporation staff and partners, including CCECC, for their round-the-clock efforts in clearing the accident scene and moving the locomotives and coaches. He said 4 out of 8 coaches have already been relocated with plans to remove the remainder within 48 hours, weather permitting. The minister emphasized that the affected railway section is about 150 meters long, and repair work on sleepers and pilots and trucks is underway to resume normal operations swiftly. He also stated that the investigation into the cause is ongoing and pledged to implement measures to prevent future incidents. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, on Monday in Abuja launched the ministry's electronic records and archiving system, declaring that the ministry is now set to operate mobile and on-the-move offices. Speaking at the ceremony in his office, Tunji-Ojo said Interas would be replicated across all agencies under the ministry, stressing that technology is central to delivering efficient governance. With the launch, the Ministry of Interior becomes the 18th federal ministry to go paperless. The minister also explained that Interas would allow him and his team to run mobile offices, process documents faster, and eliminate delays. He disclosed that the ministry had built an 8.3 petabyte Tier 4 solar-powered data center to secure government data ownership, and that Nigerian borders are now monitored with advanced surveillance and the UN-mandated advanced passenger information system, enabling immigration officers to know travelers before they arrive. He credited President Bola Tinubu for backing the reforms, commended the Permanent Secretary Dr. Magdalene Ajani, directors and staff of the ministry, and head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Walston-Jack, who performed the formal launch. The Nigerian Hunters and Forest Security has honored the chairman of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, with an award of excellence on security. The award recognizes the chairman's outstanding contributions to strengthening forest security services and promoting human welfare. The citation notes that Alhaji Abdullahi is recognized as the best chairman in the Federal Capital Territory and the best chairman in Abaji and security matters. The vice chairman of Abaji Area Council, Honorable Isa Maka, received the award on behalf of the chairman and expressed appreciation to the NHFSS for their recognition. The NHFSS also presented a special award to the Council's Security Matters Coordinator, Alhaji Zakari Danlami, and commended the Special Advisor on Security, Honorable Mukhtar Gambo, for his support. Other council officials, including the Chief of Staff, Comrade Mohammed Amin Kandi, and the Secretary, appreciated NHFSS for the honor and reaffirmed the Council's commitment to prioritizing security and the well-being of its people. A founder of non-governmental organization Connected Development and Follow the Money, Mr. Hamzat Lawal, has urged the citizens in the country to monitor the activities of government at all levels to ensure funds appropriated for projects are judiciously used. Mr. Lawal gave the advice while inaugurating members of the organization in Abuja. Our correspondent, Topsy Gimba, has the details.
To fight for justice. He said his organization would do all possible to build consciousness in the minds of the citizens to monitor the activities of their leaders at all levels. To achieve this, he said, he is planning to expand the connected development to all African countries. He disclosed that he would be traveling to the United Kingdom for studies and that the Assistant Director Program, Helazira Michelia, will become the Acting Chief Executive Officer, Connected Development and Follow the Money.
Connected Development have worked in over 3,000 grassroots communities across Africa and 12 African countries. Rather, across Nigeria and 12 African countries, giving citizens the tools to hold their leaders accountable. We have tracked over 400 billion in budgeted funds, ensuring that this translates into public schools, primary healthcare center, access to water, and critical infrastructure across these communities. We have shown time and again that transparency is not a privilege. It is a right, and every Nigerian citizens demand accountability. Our work has not been easy. We are faced with resistance, intimidation, and difficult terrains for advocating for accountability in systems that often strive on opacity.
The Secretary General Connected Development and Follow the Money, Mr. Mukhtar Modibo Saliu, said part of the movement is to expand, build capacity, and develop strong systems. He said for the past 6 of the 13 years of the organization, a lot has been achieved across the country.
Now, we only track what we see and what we know. Right? If you look at the follow the money process, we don't track what we don't know. So we follow through the process. And one beautiful thing about our model is we don't do it ourselves. We educate people in communities to do it, to do the tracking. So, and we don't go to courts whatsoever. So what we do is we do petitions. When we notice that there are issues within the budget, we do petitions. I can confidently tell you that we have quite a number of petitions to EFCC, ICPC, and other anti-graft agencies around what we've been tracking.
After the swearing-in ceremony, the newly installed Acting Chief Executive Officer, Helazira Michelia, said the organization will remain determined in achieving its main objectives. She says she has been working with the founder, Mr. Hamza Lawal, and pledged to increase citizens' awareness on what government does.
If we're going to be intentional about integrating gender into or having more gender-focused campaigns, interestingly, Connected Development has always been women-led. We've always been very passionate about gender campaigns. We've always integrated and mainstreamed gender into all our programming. So, of course, you would see more initiatives and campaigns targeted towards the upliftment and empowerment of women and girls and men as well.
The ceremony ended with the swearing-in of new leaders of Connected Development, Topsy Gimba. Aso Television News.
Now, in line with building healthier and stronger relationship, Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAO, has warmly visited Aso Radio and Television to ensure adequate working of the organization. Speaking to Aso Radio and Television in Abuja, President of RATAO, Comrade Prince Emeka Kalu, disclosed that the visitation is part of broader efforts in promoting safety of radio, television and theatre arts workers. Oluwak Balumi has the details. That report will be brought to you in a subsequent bulletin. Now let's move ahead with business. Following public concerns over the delayed release of budget implementation reports from the second quarter of 2024 to date, the Budget Office of the Federation has reaffirmed commitments to transparency, accountability, and timely fiscal reporting. A press statement by the Budget Office of the Federation affirmed its statutory obligation under the Fiscal Responsibility Act to publish quarterly BIRS, noting that the delay should not be interpreted as a lapse in responsibility. It described the postponement as a necessary measure to ensure accuracy and coherence during what it termed an exceptional budget cycle. According to the statement, two primary factors, verification and reconciliation processes, contributed to the delay, as the BIRS incorporates not only financial data but also fiscal verification of projects across the country. On transition to an extended fiscal framework, the Budget Office stated that anticipated challenges to the budget horizon prompted the office to hold off on publishing reports based on old cycle, which could have resulted in conflicting data sets and misled stakeholders. The office further assured that beginning with quarter 3 of 2025, all BIRS will be published on schedule in accordance with FRA requirements, adding that consolidated reports for quarter 1 and 2 of 2025 will also be released alongside the full year 2024 update to restore compliance with statutory timelines. Some residents of the Federal Capital Territory have acknowledged regular exercise in form of get-together as a means to reducing stress and increasing productivity levels and economic development. This is as the backdrop at the celebration of God's faithfulness by some parents in Abuja for the gift of children and good life. Our correspondent Ile Imeje was there and files in the reports. Okay, that about a subsequent bulletin. Now let's move ahead with condolences. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, Dr. Mariam Mahmood, has mourned the death of the FCT Head of Service, Mrs. Grace Adayilo, who passed away in the early hours of Monday, September 1st, 2025. In a statement signed by her Special Assistant on Media, Austin Elemo Mohamud described Adayilo as a distinguished administrator, seasoned technocrat, and dedicated public servant who gave her best with professionalism, humility, and commitments. The minister said Adayilo's passing was not only a painful loss to the FCT administration, but also to the Nigerian public service and the nation at large, noting that her wealth of experience and wisdom were invaluable at a critical time of implementing President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda in the capital. She added that the late head of service contributions to governance created a legacy of excellence that will be difficult to replace, while acknowledging the vacuum her death has left in the administration. Dr. Mahmood extended her condolences to Adayilo's family, colleagues, and staff of the FCT administration, praying for God to grant her eternal rest and give loved ones the strength to bear the loss. In a similar vein, the chairman of Kwali Area Council and chairman of Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, in the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Danladi Chia, on behalf of the FCT Area Council chairman, condoled with the family, friends, and colleagues of the late Mrs. Grace Adayilo, the head of service, FCT administration, who passed away on Monday, September 1st, 2025. Chia, in a statement he personally signed, said they mourn the loss of a dedicated public servant whose contributions to the development of their great city will always be remembered. Mrs. Adayilo's trailblazing achievements as the first female head of service of the FCT, the statement added, will continue to inspire generations of people's public servants. On behalf of the FCT ALGON family, Chia extends their heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family, the FCT minister, the entire FCT administration. May her legacy live on and may her soul rest in perfect peace. They pray that God grants her family the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss, promising to continue to draw inspiration from her remarkable life and service to humanity. And that does it all on Aso Briefing for today. Many thanks for watching. I am Richard Alechinwanyebe.